All right, let's dive into some database history. Today we're going to talk about a major challenger that popped up during a really revolutionary time in the world of data. It's a story about a company that decided to compete not on popularity, but on pure raw speed. So in the world of NoSQL databases, for the longest time, one name just dominated the conversation: MongoDB. You know the one, with that iconic green leaf. But right there, another player, Couchbase, was busy building something fundamentally different, and that set the stage for a classic tech rivalry. To really get this, you gotta go back to the late 2000s. The internet was just exploding, right? You had social media, mobile apps, big data. It was a mess. And the traditional databases, with their super rigid tables and rows, they just couldn't keep up with all this new, unstructured information. This created what we call the big data gap. Developers were getting pretty desperate for a new way of doing things, and they found it in NoSQL. The appeal was obvious. You got flexible schemas, which meant you didn't have to define your entire data structure way in advance. You could scale horizontally, so instead of buying one giant expensive server, you could just add more cheap ones. And the best part? It was all built around JSON documents, a format that developers already knew and loved.
And in this brand new world, MongoDB was absolutely king. It was so easy to learn, it had this massive, passionate community, and it just perfectly captured the spirit of the whole movement. For a lot of developers, MongoDB was NoSQL.
But here's the thing. As apps got more and more demanding, a really important question started to pop up. Flexibility is great, but what happens when your app has to respond in milliseconds, even when you have millions of users online all at once? That question, well, that's what opened the door for a challenger.
And that challenger has a really fascinating origin story. It wasn't just built from scratch in some garage. Nope, it was actually born from the fusion of two completely different technologies. What they did was kind of brilliant. They took CouchDB, which was already known for its simple JSON model, and they merged it with something called Membase, a technology built for super high-speed, in-memory data access. That just means it keeps the most important data in the fastest part of the computer, its memory. The result was this incredible hybrid, a database that was engineered for performance from its very DNA.
So here's the crucial point. Couchbase wasn't just another place to store your data. It had a super fast caching layer built right into its core. Think about it like this. It's like having your most used items not on a shelf in the back room, but sitting right there on the counter, ready to be grabbed instantly. That was its game-changing advantage. Okay, so how did this unique design actually translate into the real world? What did it mean for its features and its place in the market? The whole idea behind Couchbase was to blend that flexibility everyone wanted from NoSQL with a secret weapon, that built-in high-speed cache. So from day one, it wasn't just another option. It was positioned as the high-performance alternative, designed to serve up data at incredible speeds. And this, right here, is where the central conflict really heats up. It's a classic tech drama, really. It was a battle of two totally different philosophies for winning over developers and big companies.
This chart just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got MongoDB. Their whole strategy was grassroots. Focus on simplicity, build a huge community, make it super easy for any developer to get started. Couchbase, though, they went a different route. They targeted the enterprise, focusing on the raw performance and scalability that those massive, mission-critical applications absolutely require.
So, where did this big bet on speed actually pay off? Where did Couchbase find its footing and really start to thrive?
It found its home in industries where latency is the ultimate enemy. Think about online gaming. Every single millisecond counts for leaderboards and player interactions. Or e-commerce. A slow-loading shopping cart means you just lost a sale. And mobile apps, well, we all expect them to be instant and snappy. These were the places where Couchbase's performance wasn't just a nice-to-have, it was a must-have.
And to make this real, just imagine a gaming company that needs to handle over 1 million players online at the exact same time. All of them making moves, sending messages, updating their status. That is the kind of massive scale where Couchbase's architecture was designed to shine. It could handle insane amounts of traffic without even breaking a sweat. So when we look back at this whole rivalry, what's the lasting impact of this challenger? What did Couchbase ultimately prove to the world?
This is really the key takeaway. Couchbase fundamentally changed the conversation. It showed everyone that the NoSQL movement wasn't just some rebellion against the old rigid databases of the past. It was also about pushing towards a new frontier of speed and scale that those older systems could never, ever reach.
In the end, look, there's no question that MongoDB captured the bigger market share. It definitely won the popularity contest. But that doesn't take anything away from Couchbase's success. It succeeded brilliantly at its own mission. It carved out and completely dominated a vital niche for applications where performance is everything. It proved there was more than one way to win in the NoSQL era.
So you can see the evolution so clearly, right? You have the problem, the big data gap. That leads to the solution, the rise of NoSQL, led by MongoDB. But that success creates a brand new challenge, the need for extreme performance, which was met head-on by Couchbase. Next time, we're going to jump back in time, way back, to the very beginnings of desktop databases, with a prequel to our Foxpro story, the rise and fall of DBase.